So fun. Look at that. Love it when it works. Simon, how long have you been with your association?
I've been working with Paycom for about 4 years.
Fantastic. Do you are you able to get out to like ASAE events, or do you go to the Canadian Association Management Society?
No, you know what? I had zero experience of this whole industry before.
Hmm.
I used to run and own my own business
Mhm.
when I was in Ontario, and
Yeah.
but I'm very good friends with the people that manage Paycom, and I was looking for a remote job so I could come and live in a ski town, and so it worked out very good.
Perfect. Perfect. Hi, Anne. Welcome. We're glad you're here.
Hi there.
How are you today?
I'm doing pretty well. How are you?
Well, thank you. And Ken, my friend Ken, how are you?
Jennifer, how's it going? Good to see
Really
you.
well. I'm so glad I'm seeing you in this context.
Sorry, Mike, got a bad connection here, so I got to keep the video up for now.
No worries at all. It's so hot. I'm amazed. I feel like the tech has been kind of spotty, probably because it's tired too and hot. Hi, Karen, welcome. And Matt, hey, Matt.
Hi, everybody.
So we're going to
Good
give
afternoon.
folks just a few more minutes. We have scheduled this session for just 30 minutes, but we certainly are happy to hang on if people need a few more minutes. And we want to give, we had quite a good sign up, so we'll want to give folks just another minute or two. In the meantime, if you have a weather story to share, feel free to chime in. I feel like it's crazy weather, and we've got people from all over the country and even in Canada today.
Well, I can still see snow on the tips of the mountains here, so it actually snowed about a week ago up there.
Wow.
Oh, that's amazing.
Wow. Yeah.
Yep.
You don't want me to talk about our weather. It's perfect. Oh, wait. I'm sorry. I was confusing the office temperature with outside.
That's great. I love that.
It's always the same in here.
Right. It was quite a shock to me, I must say, when I went outside this afternoon. I had gone out in the morning pretty early to walk my dogs, and then was like, whew. So Yeah, it's definitely a lot here in the DMV. All right. Why don't we go ahead and get started? People may be trickling in, but we want to make sure to have time for everybody's questions. So just want to reiterate that we are really glad you all decided to join us today. In case you were wondering and not sure what this actually was all about, our focus today is to answer your questions, to address issues, and to discuss topics that are really of interest to you. So there's not a lot of formal stuff we're going to be covering. We have just a little bit of admin kind of stuff. It's also an opportunity for you all to network with each other. We'd love to hear about wins that you're seeing, best practices, lessons learned, anything like that. Please use the chat and let us know what's out there. We've got quite a number of web scribblers on the call today, and you'll see them in the participant list. For your office hour facilitation team, it's myself, I'm Jennifer Baker from the customer success team, and I have my colleagues, Ben and Rick, who are both big experts on all things systems. So they're exactly the people that you want here. Excuse me. So what we'd like to do is just have you all put some info in the chat, because part of this, again, our clients have been telling us that they really want to meet other association staff and organization staff who work with career centers. And so please take a minute, pop this information into the chat. I'll provide an example and post it if that helps. So my name's Jennifer Baker. My organization is WebScribble. A fun fact about me is that I've actually worked at associations for most of my career. Prior coming to WebScribble, I worked at the American Society of Association Executives and ran their career center as part of that work, and was at the American Physical Therapy Association before that. And I took my first surfing lesson almost a year ago today, last year. So that's my fun fact. And then I'll pop my LinkedIn profile into the chat. Ben, I'll hand it over to you. Do you want to do a quick intro?
Sure. Yeah, so my name is Ben Carlson. As Jennifer mentioned, I am many of your guys' technical contacts, along with Rick, who will come on and say his intro in a moment. But I focus on the onboarding side of things. So setting up career centers, working on some technical pieces for your career centers to make sure your members are all happy and everyone can use like single sign-on and stuff. So I work with WebScribble, and fun fact about me is actually about in a month and a half or so, I'm moving to Chicago. My wife and I are very excited for that. And I'll drop my LinkedIn in the chat, so anyone that wants to connect can do so. Rick, do you want to go next?
Sure. Yep. My name is Rick Miller. I'm the senior customer support representative and the team lead here on for WebScribble. My main job here is to be the point of contact and the for service and support, technical support for our partners. So if you folks have any questions about your career sites and job boards, be it technical issues or questions about features and things like that, you can always reach out to me. Fun fact about me is I just started playing in an Irish folk band about a year ago. So I never thought I would play an instrument in an Irish folk band. So that's my fun fact. I'll drop my LinkedIn in the chat as well.
They sound very good.
Yeah, thanks, Rick. And I have to say, if you guys get a chance to check out Rick's YouTube, it's pretty awesome. So we want to make the most of the rest of our time together. And to help you guys do that, we want to invite and encourage you to do these three things. So please ask questions. We have 3 channels for you to do that. You can come off your camera, you can make yourself visible, come off mute, talk with us. You can use the raise hand feature. We're going to be watching. You can post your questions in the chat. We'll be monitoring that as well. And we have a Slido set up for this session. If you've never used Slido, it's actually quite a cool tool that allows anonymous question asking. I'll give you that access info in just a bit, and we'll be monitoring that as well. We encourage you to share any feedback you have. for us. We want to hear what you're experiencing, what you're seeing, what your employers and job seekers are experiencing and seeing. So let us know. And finally, as I was saying earlier, we really want you to network with each other. And that is the way that you can find new ways to find success with your career centers. It's a great way to do it. So please do that. So the Slido, as I said, Slido is a pretty cool tool. And there are 2 ways to access it. I'm going to keep this visible for you for just a little bit. And you can go to slido.com, just enter the code. You'll see where to do that. And you just keep that open. Or you can use your phone, scan the QR code, and that'll take you right to the Slido. And you can use it throughout the session. So I'll give you a minute to do that. And then while I'm going to leave this up and I'm going to open the floor. I'll stop sharing in just a minute. So if you need anything on the Slido, put that in the chat if you're having any trouble with it. But I'm going to stop share and we'll turn it over to you all. Did anybody come with a particular question, a burning question they want to ask? Anybody? Matt, can I put you on the spot? I know you came with.
Yeah, I've got one, and I was just waiting to see if anyone else had one as well. But yeah, I just wanted to ask to hear a little bit about how the job categories work, and those are the like little text links that appear at the bottom of the Career Center page with different like sectors like government jobs, academia jobs, etc. Just wanted to hear a little bit about how they worked, how they are populated, etc.
Yep, sure, I could take that one, Matt. So those are landing pages that are created when a job is posted organically through the site. So when an employer logs in and buys a package from you, opens up the posting template and selects a specific job category, which is a required field. During onboarding, you probably worked with Ben to sort of customize what you wanted there under the category field and add and remove the ones that you felt were the best fit. So when an employer selects that and the job goes live, we index that, and if if there's no link down there in the footer section, we create one. And it's supposed to link to that job in the filter on the search results page. So there are some settings in the back end. We can set the landing pages to be created when a single job is posted, when if you don't want a landing page until 3 jobs under that category are posted, we can set it up like that as well. I think currently yours is set up to be created after a single job. It can take some time to index those. I think the last time you reached out, you noticed that the government jobs, even though there were 2 jobs posted in the dropdown and the search results, the government landing page wasn't linking up to anything, and it was kind of going to like a no results found page. So I reached out to our dev team because I was curious about that a little bit too, and they told me that because there's a bunch of background processes running all the time for these landing pages, it can take a little while for them to index. So I went back and checked a couple hours later, and we have 2 jobs on your page now that are linking correctly to the government landing page. But I wasn't quite aware at the time of how long it would take to index. I think it can vary, but it shouldn't take more than 24 hours. And I think Ben actually chimed in on that a little bit too. And the reason why we do that, in the past, we had gone live with those landing pages by default. So they were all displayed, not based on when an employer posted a job. We just had them down there based on what was set up in the cPanel, the backend SmartWay. And what we were discovering was when folks weren't using those categories, those landing pages were still alive in the footer, and people were clicking on them and being taken to that page, not, no results found page. And that was affecting our search engine optimization quite a bit. So we decided to switch our approach and do it this way. So that's kind of the technical answer. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, that definitely makes sense. Like I think we liked having the categories visible, but
Mhm.
if those links don't go anywhere, it makes sense that they are not visible unless there's an actual job
Right, because
within that category.
Google will crawl those links and see that there's no results and just push you down in the search results, and that's exactly what we don't want.
Don't want that.
Nope.
No, yeah. No, thanks. And a related question to that is when somebody is posting their job, can they just choose one? Do they have to select one job category?
Just one, unfortunately.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is a good feature request though. You know, if someone can maybe select a primary category, but also like a secondary. So maybe we can start collecting some feedback from other of our partners to see if that's of interest. So that's a good idea, Matt.
Yeah, with ours, we definitely would have people who have a job that's like in the government category, but might also be in the, geology or environmental category as well.
Mhm.
Yeah. And having that option in the future might make it easier for employers to get their jobs posted. They don't know which one to pick currently. If they had another option, that would make it easier. I wanted to quickly address a question that came in Slido. Someone asked how many categories can a client select? So I don't know if that pertains to what Matt was just asking about on the employer side. So currently employers can only select one category. But for you guys, associations, these sites, as many categories as you want. Now we would recommend trying to keep the category list focused to what your industry, what your members are looking for, just so that it's not cluttery, if for lack of a better term. But to answer the question, you guys can have as many categories on your sites as you'd like.
Great questions. Thank you so much. Anybody else wanted to be sure that if you came with a question this session, that you get it answered? So, or if there was something that intrigued you about it, please let us know.
Hi, I'm Karen Blanchett. I work with a medical association and I am completely lost with how to use your site. And I'm sure somewhere buried in my email, it's my fault because I didn't respond to a scribbler, as you call him. Who probably reached out to me at one point and I missed it or something. But I'm looking at our page now that is hosted, your site on our, you know what I mean? And I do need to get it updated. So I'm assuming that I can just reach out to my assigned Scribbler customer management person to do that, to update the skin, I guess.
Absolutely.
And yeah,
Mhm.
because the site's changed quite a bit since then. And then the featured jobs, like I'm looking at it all right now, and they all have the exact same title. And they're all in dental offices. It looks like a large corporation probably owns all these offices and kind of did a bunch of posts or something.
Mm.
And I'm wondering if we have any control over that sort of thing, because lately I've been trying to promote the job board and also Career Center. I don't know, is there a better, when I call it Career Center, people think it's something else. I don't know. I would love some input on this whole job board Career Center stuff for people who absolutely do not have their head in this. I'm not a recruiter. I don't work in HR. I don't know anything about hiring and firing. I mean, I used to back in the day, but this whole thing, I'm sure that we're not optimizing it. And I think maybe we ought to be.
I love that you asked that question, Karen. So first, we can absolutely make sure that we connect with you. I believe Amanda, my colleague Amanda, is the person who's your customer success contact. We will make sure that you all connect, and she can dig in with you on very specifics there. And then I love that you asked about, is it a career center? Is it a job board? I think personally, that's the big missed opportunity for associations. A lot of them say it's a job board, they set it and forget it, and it really doesn't thrive for them. And it can be actually a pretty strategic asset in your tech stack and in how you're serving your members. because one of the top reasons that people come to join an association is for career management purposes, whether they actually express it that way or not, you know? And so your timing for joining us today is awesome. And it's going to be a good segue. Maybe Rick or Ben, we could show the new look and feel of the homepage. We've got one. So with you, Karen, with your group, we could look at potentially just rolling, right, making it all new.
Okay.
And we can also turn on some career tools that truly make it more than just a job board. We have an interview coach, AI powered. We have an offer analyzer that just does amazing things. So you can take a look at it, Rick or Ben, if you want to take it away.
Yeah.
Great.
Thanks, Jennifer. I'm sharing my screen here. Can everyone see my screen? Okay, perfect. So Karen, what we're looking at, and for those on the call here that are looking at the screen share, this is our current landing page, our current template, if you will. It's very similar to what we recently had. Let me backtrack there. We recently just released a new template of our site, where most of it is the same. You know, you're used to seeing your logo, your nav, your colors, this hero image. But we changed up a little bit of how we orient some of the call to actions down below. So somebody finding their way to the site, we have featured companies like you're used to seeing, but then the featured jobs, as opposed to having like a long list. And maybe Karen, this is what you were just referring to on your end. It's now like a carousel. So it's a little bit of a more user-friendly feature. It's mobile optimized as well. So I'm going to pause here really quick and address one of the things you said, Karen. This featured job section, at least how it looks on our site here that I'm sharing, is this where you were mentioning the jobs kind of all share the same title? They might be all shared by the same poster. Okay, yeah, that's what I was thinking. So the way that jobs populate here is the pricing package, where somebody purchases either the enhanced or the premium that talks about a spotlight job. Think of this as interchangeable with featured job, spotlight, featured, sponsored. They're all the same. They're all synonyms of each other. Those jobs will populate here based on the date that they were posted, right? So I think you're on something there, Karen. You're most likely, and without me looking at your site further, I would bet that you're accurate in terms of maybe there's like a recruiter that posted a bunch of these jobs. So they'll fall off as more jobs come on, but some variety is definitely our preferred experience as well. So that somebody, I'm looking for my next opportunity. If I just see dental positions and I'm not interested in that, then I might go somewhere else. So I would definitely recommend, as Jennifer mentioned, connecting with your contact. So we'll have them reach out to you to address that further, so we can see what we can do there. Going further, we have the Are You Employer call out. So this will take somebody right to that same pricing page that I was just showing, to post their position. We have some new career tools, as Jennifer was just mentioning. So career guides where job seekers can find out more about the salary, skills, description, and some interview questions that are related to a job they're looking into. Career paths where the job they're either looking for, applying to, or the career that they have currently, where that falls on the path, what's coming next, and how do I move into the next step of my career. So it's been a pretty well received. And then more specifically, some specific tools here for Offer Analyzer and Interview Coach. Both are pretty self-explanatory. Karen, if you just offered me a position, I can enter in the info that you're offering me and compare it to other job titles that are posted to the same industry and experience level and whatnot. It gives the job seeker like a nice little bell curve that kind of shows, where the offer I'm being given falls in line with the industry, with lots of data points that we use for jobs that are posted to the sites that we manage there. So that's a very popular tool. As well as Interview Coach. And again, this one is just basically the job seeker can enter in some questions, or enter in the job title that they're applying to, they're interviewing for, and they'll be given some questions via AI to ask during the interview process. So it's helpful for job seekers to know what to ask, and also it shows the employer that the job seeker is interested in actually going the extra mile to learn more about the position. So these are some new tools that if you don't see on your sites today, as I'm showing on this site, definitely reach out to us so that we can discuss how to get them up and running on your site. Something else to mention, just to kind of provide some member benefit as well, is that these can all be gated behind a member only wall. So if we want to encourage membership, some folks that are non-members that are on our sites to become members of our associations, clicking on one of these and actually submitting the information, non-members want to get so far, they would have a message that says, become a member, join AACT or something like that. So a lot of our partners take advantage of that member only thing. So I don't know if there are any questions there. If anyone wants to come off mute to ask anything further. I see Karen, you're off mute. Do you have a question?
I did the old fashioned hand raise.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I was like, wait, where's the little button? I know there is one. Yeah. So how do you have an API that, I mean, how do you authorize or verify membership behind the various different paywalls?
Yeah, so it's a great question. So when we spin up these sites, a lot of times the AMS that our associations are utilizing, we partner with them, like IMIS, Novi AMS, Fontiva from Salesforce. So if you don't currently have a single sign-on solution in place, Karen, then we can definitely consider, we can discuss getting that set up for you. Because basically what ends up happening, it's very, very hands-off. Basically, when somebody clicks sign in, there's only one option here at the moment, but for all intents and purpose of the conversation, picture a left option that says, yes, I'm a member, and the right option that says no. For folks that click the yes option, that's going to be your job seekers or your employers, if that pertains to your membership. They would then be redirected to a sign-in portal that's authenticates against your AMS. So somebody types in their credentials that exists on your side of things. Once they are authenticated, they come back. We bring them back to our site, and then from there, their user journey continues. If they're an employer, they can get the member pricing by clicking on the package that they're looking to purchase, or if they're a job seeker, if we did set up the offer analyzer to be behind a member wall, they would be able to continue on from there. So it all happens during the sign-in process. To use some additional technical terms, we make a REST API call so that we can actually get all the information from your guys' AMS to then bring back the information on our side. Does that hopefully answer the question?
Partially, yeah. I have a follow-up question.
That's okay.
So if we just put the link to the
To the Career Center, to the job board.
Career Center. Yes, thank you. If we just put the link to the Career Center behind the paywall, and then everybody accessing it would have already had to have been logged in order to access the link in the first place, will that be enough?
They'll still need to sign in, Karen. So it's a great question. We unfortunately can't bring over the cookie data over from where they're starting from. I would say that's one of the most common questions I get in the onboarding side of things and implementing SSO is that we currently can't do that, unfortunately. So if that does change in the future, that'll obviously be a much better user experience for your members. But again, just to make sure everyone understands what we're talking about here is that if somebody signed in already before coming to the job board, they would unfortunately still need to sign in to get benefits of the job board. And that's just because it is technically a different site. We aren't able to bring over the session data from their previous URL.
You said SSO.
Sorry, say that again.
I thought you said that you could do the SSO so that if they had logged in, that you would be capturing that already.
But so the call is made from the sign-in page on our site, Karen. So if they are already signed in to your guys' membership, let's say before coming to the job board, they see a link that says, oh, new Career Center. They click on it. We don't receive the information automatically. So they would still need to click sign in and then enter in their info and then be authenticated once more and then be brought back.
Okay.
I will tell you, Karen, because this is very common as there are integrations across various pieces of an organization's tech stack, that it really, especially with the Career Center, we found that a lot of folks actually like having that piece in place because they don't want an employer to ever find out about their job search, for example. And so it is, many times they want what they're doing on your main site, which is profession, maybe using their work address to be separate from what they're doing in the Career Center site. So there's another layer of that there. But in terms of just how it works, of course, Ben, provided that overview. And then there is an explainer video. I just wanted to highlight that Rick dropped in the chat about a couple of our new tools. And Karen, please continue on if you have additional questions around single sign-on. Or, again, we can make sure, as I'm taking notes on what your questions are, and we'll make sure that Amanda is aware so that as you go into that conversation, you can really dig into how it's working on your site and make sure that we're doing everything we can for that user experience.
Well, we've had really bad experiences with third-party partners who require the single sign-on and then they have to log in again anyway, sort of thing. Our customers aren't necessarily as computer savvy as we'd like them to be. Part of what we do is try to help them become comfortable with computer technology. Our member base are practice managers of doctors' offices. But regretfully, a large portion of them think that sharing a password and a login across their entire office is more efficient. Yeah, so this is, what we're up against, and we're getting there, but when they have to log in to our site and then they go somewhere on the site that they have access to based on the paywall that they belong in, and then they have to log in again, they become very confused and agitated and let us know about it.
Sure.
Yeah, so that's why I was like, oh man, yeah.
Yeah,
So
I'm sure,
log in and then they're asked to log in again, even though it's a separate, well, this is the job board or the career center login. Well, you already logged into Paycom, but you still need to log into this. Just logging into Paycom, that's our company, gets their goat. I'll use those words.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just logged in yesterday. Why do I have to log in again?
Yeah.
I have my password is. We use a password safe. What's a password safe? Yeah. So we're working on it. Like I said.
Yeah. Yeah.
But a large percentage of our population that we're trying to help, the people that are at the top of their game, we love them in the organization because they're helping us with this challenge. But there are a lot of people out there who really, really, really just are still, I mean, I thought that COVID would help a lot, and it probably has helped some, but still, people don't know how to get onto a Zoom meeting, and then I'm like, but for my customers, and I love them, and I have to help them.
Yeah, I totally understand. Rick, did you have a note?
I was just going to ask Karen, in your opinion, so the way Ben explained the workflow of SSO is the way it kind of has to be for it to work correctly. If we didn't implement the way your site is set up now, your employers have to, and your clients have to set up a completely different account. So I guess in your opinion, what is I guess more of a barrier, or what do you think is more difficult for your clients? Would it be the SSO and the way it works, or actually having to manage two accounts?
The SSO will be seamless to them.
Right.
It's done right. But if they have to log in they have to log into anything other than our site, I would think that the SSO would mean they wouldn't have to log.
Yeah, I think when we get caught up a lot of times, and Ben, correct me if I'm wrong, it's when employers log into the SSO portal on the main site first, and then go to the job board and click to sign in, and then are asked if they're a member, and then if they're logged into the front side, Ben, don't we authorize the token at that point if they're already logged into the front, or am I misunderstanding that?
No, not the initial time.
So they have to log in one time and then we redirect them back.
Correct. Yeah. Now, what I will say is that I think it's for 24 or 48 hours that we do keep them logged in, Karen. So let's say someone tries to, sign in one more time to Paycom, and then they click on the Career Center. The next day they would still be signed in because we remember their activity on our site. I think what might be most helpful is if maybe you me and Amanda or Jennifer, whoever your contact is, if we could maybe set up a specific call to kind of go through some of the hoops here, just to kind of walk through the workflow, just to make sure that we're all talking the same language, making sure that we're all discussing the same user experience and the workflow. I think that'll not only help us make sure that we are, hearing where you're coming from, but also give our team some helpful feedback to see where, this is where we can improve. So,
because we're starting off kind of like ground zero, really. I mean, we've been customers or partners, whatever, with Web Scribble for some years, but we've set it and forget it. That's been us. And we want to, we want to turn over a new leaf and do better. So that's what we're here to learn, is how do we get started doing that? And obviously I'm not the only customer on this call, so I appreciate the attention, and I will
that's what we're here for.
Private call with you guys in the future.
Yeah, no, that's what we're here for. I think it's a great, we're timing this pretty well then. So Karen, we'll reach out to you and to set that up. And if anyone else has questions on single sign-on that might require its own call, we're happy to set that up as well. That's like I said, that's what we're here for.
Absolutely.
Very much. I'm going silent.
Yeah, Karen, thank you so much for your questions. Because I always say the person asking the question is giving voice to what others are wondering about. So it's really helpful. Hey, Ben, can you stop sharing? We are just over our half an hour. I want to just give you guys a little bit of info about our next Web Scribble Academy session. So I'm hopeful that, oh no, it didn't work. Hold on a minute. We're gonna, nope. I'll get it. I'm hopeful that you all will continue because what we're finding is that that you'll continue to attend these sessions, because what we're finding is that folks, Karen, like you and others, you are not alone, right? You get busy, and it's not always easy to know what's going on. And that's really what we're here to do with Web Scribble Academy. And next month, our session is going to be a mid-year trends report. Alexei Gutin, for those of you who haven't met him, is our CEO, really savvy about what's going on in the wider world that is impacting our Career Center's success. And you can sign up for all the rest of the Web Scribble Academy events at this bit.ly link. So please do that. So I just wanted to take a minute, show you that information. We are happy to hang on for another few minutes, but do want to note that if you have to go, some people have already left, but we want you to know that the official part is done, and then you can stay on if you want to stay on. So thank you. Thank you very much for joining us today. We really appreciate it. So anybody else with who are still here with us? Susan, Matt, Simon, giving you a shout out. Anybody else?
I had a question that's maybe related to the single sign-on topic. And we had recently, or sort of recently, added in the Thrive function, which is pretty cool. And it shows job listings in our member community, which is powered by HireLogic. And I was wondering, in order for somebody, I should know this because I think you've explained it, but does everybody see that, or would they have to have registered in the Career Center with an account first, and then that triggers the visibility of the job listings in the HireLogic member community?
Yeah, that's a great question. Ben, I saw you leaning in. You want to jump on that?
So Matt, just to make sure I'm understanding who we're talking about here, these are folks that they may not be members, but they have an account in the community, right? Are they seeing the jobs come back from the job board to the community? Is that your question?
Sort of, maybe a little different. To be in our member community, you do have to be a member of our society. Okay. And I think that only members who are registered in the Career Hub will see the jobs, but I wasn't sure if that's exactly how it worked.
I don't think we currently blur any content on jobs on the Career Center, just your careers page. that is something we can do, but I don't think we set that up initially during the onboarding and implementation. So if that is something that the larger team wants to discuss, I think that should deserve another call just so that we can go through what some of the pros and cons of doing that are. So let's say, yes, let's say we do set it up that way. Then at that point, only members can not only sign in with single sign-on through the Thrive platform, but only members would be able to see the jobs that are posted to the site.
And Ben, I just want to back up because Matt,
Oh, sure.
correct me about the question, because maybe I'm not hearing it right. But what I thought I heard you ask was, you turn on the HireLogic Thrive jobs integration. So does that mean that everyone who is on the communities when they log in, do they see jobs showing up in their feed? And the answer to that,
That's it. Yeah,
unless
that's
I'm missing something, is yes. And that's the
Yes,
whole point.
sorry.
So this was our really just an incredibly good partnership because it's helping us get out into the wider world. And Karen, this kind of crosses into the question you asked. So often associations, I call them like Disney World with no map. We just ask people like to know where the places are that they can play and how to get there. What the HireLogic Thrive Jobs integration does is allow folks who are in the community to discover jobs. And yes, Matt, they are all going to see jobs and it's all going to be, starting to appear for them, and then go over and view those jobs and apply those jobs. The benefit is you're giving your members, who are usually, almost all associations have members only communities, an added benefit. They are like, wow, this is great. I don't even have to hunt and peck for it. And you're giving your employers the opportunity to get more job views and more job applies, which makes posting on your site more valuable. So, and it's a great example of what Josh Schleiman at WebScribble talks about, right? Our ecosphere and our ecosystem as associations, with really our tech stack is supporting a little world, our own little Disney World. And this is one way that we're doing it better in terms of trying to help people get back and forth between two parts of that world. So hopefully that was kind of where you were going, I think.
Yeah, that exactly answers the question. And the reason I asked it is because when I log in to our member community, I see jobs. Like I scroll down a little bit and then boom, there's a job. I keep scrolling, there's another one. And then Anne, who was my colleague who was on the call earlier but had to leave, when she logs in, she doesn't see it. And she sent me some screenshots and the jobs don't appear for her. And we had another coworker look, but that coworker they have like a super login to the member community. So theirs wasn't a good representation, but they could emulate a regular member. And when they did that, the job didn't show up for them. And these are not great examples because they're staff sign-ins. So they might have some weird settings or maybe they just don't work as expected. But I see the jobs when I log in. But we're not really sure why.
Do you have a Career Center profile, Matt, as well?
I do.
Okay.
And that was
So
one
let's
thing
check.
they don't. Okay.
Yeah, let's check because certainly that's more than one person, and yes, they're staff, so it's not an ideal probably tester, but we can
Yeah.
take this back to the team. My understanding was the idea was even if you don't yet have a Career Center profile, you would be able to at least see jobs and go over.
That's what
Maybe
we'd
there's
like.
more, that maybe there's more to it or a setting, and so we'll take that back. So thanks for alerting us, and I'll make a note to cover it in our
Okay.
next call.
Thanks.
Like a widget? What Matt's talking about? Is what Matt's talking about like a little widget that just shows up other places on the site? That pulls from
Yes.
the Scribble but shows up on your other pages?
Yeah, so Karen, thanks for that, because we now can offer you, we've all along.
I'm calling you
been
later,
able-
Matt.
Yeah, yeah. All along, we've actually been able to offer you, and we can, again, I'll note this to Amanda, access to widgets that you can use in other parts of your ecosystem to surface jobs. This is an integration that actually makes the community feeds like a LinkedIn feed. So it's seamless. It's not this separate thing that's just kind of out there. It's really integrated. So Ben or Rick, I don't know if we have a screenshot that we could show of what, or we could.
I can get
a
it
video,
video
but
later. That's
yeah,
okay.
we can
I mean,
drop that in as a resource, or maybe
you.
show it.
I'm so glad I hung out for your question, Matt, because I didn't even know that I was missing that. That's so cool.
Are you on the Higher
Pretty
Logic
neat.
Thrive platform?
I've never heard of Higher Logic. I've never heard
Okay.
of Thrive. I don't know,
So
maybe.
this integration wouldn't apply to you, but if you get there, and in the meantime, we can definitely show you the widget stuff. So Matt,
Okay.
did you have something else?
No, I was just saying the Thrive integration with our member community for the way it looks for me when I log in, it's pretty neat, and I like the extra exposure that it's giving to the job postings. And was just mentioning, but you were kind of referring to this already. There's those other separate widgets that are different from the Thrive thing that are also pretty handy.
Well,
Just wanted to quickly grab the screen here, guys, just to show what Jennifer was just talking about, how it's like a seamless feed, very similar to LinkedIn. As you're scrolling, these are some postings made in this specific community, but then this job opportunity powered by WebScribble listing, however you want to refer to it, shows up for the job seeker as they're scrolling. So that, you know, as they are looking for the next opportunity, they can click on this link and it takes them back to the job board, to the Career Center, so that they can apply to it. So again, this is something that's an integration that Jennifer is talking about with the Higher Logic platform. So if you guys were Higher Logic clients that were also Thrive clients, I should say, you'd be able to get this. But there are widgets that, like Jennifer was saying, so if you don't have access to this, we can direct you to where to find widgets on our site. Did you have a follow-up question, Karen?
What is that you're showing me right there? Not the
Yes.
part of red where you've input your job, but the rest of it. What is that?
Stop.
Ignore the stuff on the right here. This is more so
I'm
showing
not
the
looking at that at all,
API.
but is that like a chat board? It looks, I mean,
Yeah,
is-
it's like a community site, so folks can talk to each other and post whether it's a new position that they're looking to fill, or they just have questions about the industry. It's a chat board, exactly as you described it. So the integration with WebScribble allows career opportunities to populate as people are scrolling through, so that someone can be, you know, hopefully directed to their next job opportunity.
What chat board is it? I'm sorry, whose chat board is it? What's this?
I'm just putting it in the chat for you, Karen. There's a company called Higher Logic. They power a lot of associations, communities. And associations use these communities in a variety of ways, but they are peer-to-peer. They facilitate peer-to-peer communication and networking. So yeah, you can look in the chat and find that link. And then if
Okay.
you decide that's something you're interested in, we obviously do have a partnership with them. And so just alert Amanda as well, and we'll make sure that we're keeping in sync with you as you consider that and move forward.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah.
I apologize. I gotcha. Thank you.
No problem.
Matt, real quick, how has it been received among your members? Have you seen a lot of activity on it? Are they taking advantage of it?
Of
Thrive.
I don't, how would I'm not sure how I would know. I haven't seen people like mention it. Our member community, it gets traffic, but it's not like a ton of people use it a lot, but there's not a lot of banter. So it's not something people have mentioned. One thing that staff like about it is that sometimes our members post jobs that they have at their organizations in our member community, and that's against our community guidelines, because we want people to pay and post it on our job board.
Sure.
So when somebody does that, which is like twice a month, we then can say like, hey, you've probably seen these jobs listed in the member community. Those link to the job board. That's where we'd like you to put your posting. So that it's really nice to be able to reference that for people.
Nice.
Yeah, and Matt, to your question, this is early days for us, but we are figuring out reporting to try and help understand the impact in terms of driving traffic to the Career Center for clients with this turned on. So it'll come. We're just still in that process. This is quite new. So thanks for being at the forefront.
Also, Matt, the Higher Logic team might have some additional analytics that they can share with you, people that are clicking on those job opportunity buttons to see, who's actually clicking on it, so maybe reach out to your rep there, or like a super admin for your community might be able to see that kind of stuff.
Oh,
We don't
good
have anything
idea.
at the moment, so maybe check with them.
Okay, all right, we'll do that.
Yeah. So I am actually just trying to see if I can get a quick question or quick answer on how that works. In the meantime, again, happy to hang out. So anybody else with a question or anything else that you're wondering about that we can cover for you this afternoon? Okay. And I wanted to highlight that one of our last Web Scribble Academy sessions was on marketing, Career Center. So we are working on getting a sort of private YouTube area available for our clients who can access some of those. So we'll send those out, make sure you know the links to that. And it's been great having all of you join us today. We know you're busy, so thank you for your time. We hope it was helpful, and we definitely welcome your feedback. So feel free to drop your customer success point of contact, a message, or reach out, help@webscribble.com, and we are, or WebScribble, I think it's Web Scribble Academy, right at webscribble.com. So we are welcome your feedback always.
Also, really quick, Karen, I just put a link in the chat for where you can find some widgets on your site specifically. So something to maybe include in your next conversation with us.
Yeah. Awesome. Awesome.
Thank you very much.
All right, everybody. Well, we'll let you go for the rest of your day. Have a wonderful rest of the week, and we will look forward to seeing you towards the end of July for our next Web Scribble Academy event. It's going to be a good one. Lots of trends and information. So
Thank you.
thank you so
Bye.
much.
Thanks.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you
Bye.
very much. Bye-bye.
Really helpful.